What's good, Elevators? It's your boy Elevation here with another episode of the JBP Elevated, where we speak on the Joe Budden podcast and all of his co-hosts on and off the pod. Melyssa Ford, this is not helping your case at all. In the midst of your absence, I was starting to feel not necessarily sorry for you, but I was starting to feel your presence gone. Like, damn, I noticed her absence. And a lot of videos have been made during your absence of people siding with you. People were on your side. People were empathetic towards you. They were understanding your plight that you've been making so long. But then Mona came, and within 2 episodes, well, I guess technically this is her 3rd appearance, officially a part of the JVP, she's putting all of that to bed. Literally all of it. Everything that you have a gripe about, Mona is putting to bed. You have a bunch of incidents where the guys have dogpiled you. And it was to the point where I spoke on it a bunch. Like, dang, all they do is dogpile Melyssa Ford. And a lot of the community was constantly telling me, it's not them, it's her. I was like, what do you mean it's her? Every time she speaks, they jump on her. But then here comes Mona. Every time she needs to get her point across, even if they jump in, she continues to go. My voice and my presence is going to be felt. And I'm going to be the reason why that happens. She's not calling for the higher ups to make people respect her. And this is a story or a lesson that I'm telling my son this lesson right now. I didn't know we go through this as adults. You have to earn respect. It's not given to you. Melyssa expects, because of her tenure, because of her status outside of the pod, because of who she deems to believe herself to be, that people should just give her that respect, that they should just give her that runway, that they should just give her the opportunity to speak, as opposed to seeing the opportunity and hopping on it, just taking it. It's mine. It's my turn to speak. So much so that Joe clearly had a discussion with Mona after the first appearance and told her to tone it down, not pick it up. He told her to tone it down. One thing you're not going to have to worry about with Mona is these HR meetings. She's going to tell you right to your face, whether it's on the pod or off the pod. She's going to tell you. I don't need Ian to step in for me. And you just recently got me on your side, because initially I was on the side of Mona and everybody else that defends and stands up for themselves. But because it was so persistent to you, I thought, damn, maybe it is something going on up there with the guys. So Mona puts that to bed. And then let's continue with the dogpiling, because that was your voice. As far as the dogpiling with jokes is concerned, we always give Melyssa Ford credit for being able to take jokes, and then we get upset at the guys for not being able to take the jokes when it comes from her. Well, Mona is throwing shots at all of the guys, literally all of them. She's telling Parks, you're a fucking liar. When he was playing that Mariah Carey shit and said that, he made that reference to Peyton Manning with the Broncos, she was like, you are a fucking liar. What do you mean she's lost power in her voice? I don't believe you. And it was clearly playful banter. But still, she's not just going to be a yes man to even Parks, and that's a big deal. You niggas are going to hear what I have to say, and that's going to be the end of it. Also, because of how she spoke on the Nicki Minaj situation, she's literally going to speak from her perspective and voice her opinion, which is something that we've been missing from the pod. She's not concerned about any of these industry relationships. And newsflash, Melyssa Ford, you haven't shown to be concerned about industry relationships yourself. So while you're trying to take the high road, and a lot of people are viewing Mona as ratchet, let's be clear about that. But while you're trying to take the high road, Mona is securing a bag. And this is not me saying you're fired and you're not coming back, but what happens when you do return and you have someone with a strong presence like a Mona? And what happens when y'all don't agree on something? Because when the Metro Boomin trial got brought up, Mona spoke from the presence that I've never seen Melyssa speak from. She wouldn't be able to speak on this if the case got dismissed. She would have been on the side of the victim. And There's nothing wrong with that. But if you don't have any nuance to your conversation, it reminds me of something Mark just said. What y'all deem as me picking both sides, I see as nuance. If you can't add nuance to the conversation, what's the point in having it? So I'm not telling Melyssa you have to speak from a different perspective. If that's your perspective, you have to own it. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with having it, but when the guys are persistently telling you can only speak from the perspective of a scorned woman, you can't get upset when we look at the history and that's all you speak from. So Mona is speaking her mind. She's not letting the guys dogpile her. Her presence is felt. Flip made reference to the wigs, and this is what I want to speak on the most, because this is what you're doing that you don't realize is affecting the entirety of the pod. Flip spoke on the morale of the pod because Joe and Flip mentioned Mona's wig being fucked up. Mona broke the fourth wall and spoke on her wig being fucked up and made light of it herself. She made fun of herself. That's something that I don't see Melyssa Ford do that often, is make fun of herself. She's good with taking jokes from other people, but she won't place herself in a vulnerable position like that. So Flip is speaking about the morality of the pod, and it got me thinking like, damn, every time Melyssa complains, every time Melyssa takes issue, it's not happening on the pod. She's telling these guys behind the scenes because she doesn't want her image to be seen in a certain light. But she has all these issues. Meanwhile, Mona will tell these niggas directly to their face. I made a video about it when she was speaking to Flip. I don't think you think I'm smart. I don't think you know me at all, nigga. I don't think you know me at all. Damn. Melyssa would have went to Ian and said those same words. Because let's be clear, Mona saying she doesn't think Flip knows her and talking aggressively and assertively directly to Flip is nowhere near in comparison to when Melyssa Ford went to Ian and said that she thinks Flip needs anger management classes. That it should be mandatory. That's what Melyssa said. So yes, when he speaks on the morale of the pod, this is what he's talking about. There's a difference in having an issue and addressing that issue as an adult, woman to man, as opposed to trying to get someone fired behind that issue. Meanwhile, you're smiling in their faces. That's where the fake persona comes from. So this absence, regardless of what it's for, medical, you're on vacation, you're filming for a movie, I've heard a bunch of speculations thrown out there. I've been throwing them out myself. Regardless of why you're missing the pod, it's going to hurt the longer you miss and the more Mona appears. I'm just letting you know that right now. Regardless of your status and regardless of how you come back, if you're going to continue to carry the same antics prior to you leaving, it's not going to help your case. And the audience is going to speak. Joe's not going to have to say a word to you. A lot of y'all get frustrated at what we have to say as the audience, but look at what happens when you pay attention to the audience. Mark has been the golden star when it comes to that. He's showing you what happens when you pay attention to the audience and engage with the audience and listen to a lot of the suggestions the audience gives. So much so that he was able to make a show about it. Mona is showing what happens when you pay attention to what the audience says, because her very next pod was a significant difference from her first pod because she was paying attention to A, what the castmates and Joe were saying, and B, what the audience was saying. And then don't get me started on Imani. Go look at Imani's Patreon. That's happening because of his engagement with the community. He doesn't look at us like, ugh. But we'll see. Everything I'm saying could be full of shit. I'm just getting some thoughts off. I just thought, damn, it's starting to make sense now why the castmates are so frustrated with Melyssa, why they're throwing all these jokes. Because Flip is about to be gone, and they're going to get their jokes off on Flip. But if somebody else was to miss this long of a period of time on the pod, they wouldn't get these jokes. If Ish was gone for a month, they're not going to shoot these jokes like they do at those two. If Parks had to miss a month, he wouldn't receive a single joke in his absence. So that's very telling on its own. But y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. Am I bugging? Is the comparison of Melyssa and Mona even fair? Will there be allies among Melyssa's return, or do you see them butting heads? Either way it goes, let me know in the comment section. Like the video if you like the video. Subscribe to the page if you haven't. If you have, you already know how we rocking. You already know what's going on over here. We just gonna keep moving, man. Y'all keep showing up. Y'all turning up. I see y'all. See y'all a little later, though. Peace.